Hello, everybody. How you doing out there? This is Brad, and I am not a representative of Shueisha. I'll explain that in just a few minutes. But it's been only just a little bit since I recorded the last episode, and I thought it was time for a new bad show. And I've been wondering if I've been thinking about maybe rebranding the show instead of it just being about games. But since this is for my gaming channel, I won't go. I think I'll just leave it for now because I want to keep my gaming stuff separate from anything else. But anyway, I think as long as something is tied to games, then I'll talk about it. Anything else, we'll just slide in there. It as needed. I know I went off on a Dragon Ball Z tangent, but I had a point there. But anyway, so my original plan for this was to talk about Nintendo and their DMCA takedowns. There was a big one that happened just a few days ago, and the reason I made the joke about Shueisha is I was also going to lump that in with a giant rant on them and what Shueisha was doing over on Twitter, where there was a big mess of a lot of big people had their Twitter accounts taken down because of supposed DMCA takedowns from Shueisha for copyright infringement. And they were going after people for posting GIFs, clips of the show, even fan art or fan mangas that fans had created. They were claiming all of it. And there was Unreal. I can't remember what his actual thing is right now. But anyway, a big person in the Dragon Ball community one or two people in that community got hit, and it was pretty bad. And it really got out of hand when it was revealed that actually an employee for Shueisha, whose work appears in official Dragon Ball games and stuff, like the Dragon Ball Legends game for mobile, excuse me, got hit with a copyright notice too. Like, they got their account back, but like, how does that happen? And I was prepared to come on here and, rant about Shueisha and Nintendo and lump all that together. And I'll get to Nintendo in just a second. But it turns out, I think this was revealed just yesterday at the time. Today I'm recording this. This is the 11th. Yesterday, I think it was, somebody did some digging and they found out that the Shueisha claims were false. It was not Shueisha issuing the warnings. Somebody was posing as a representative of Shueisha and were issuing the warnings. Apparently, it was some a random fan upsetting an artist or something like that. I can't remember the story because all I know is that the copyright to the DMCA takedowns issued on behalf of Shueisha were not Shueisha. Now, that's great. Hopefully everybody who lost their accounts can get their accounts back. But I do think that there is something to say that the fact that people thought it was legit and people thought of course Shueisha would do this. Like, people were not surprised. Like, well, I say they were not surprised. What I mean is, people wouldn't have put it past Shueisha to do that. So, yeah, it was surprising that so many people, got hit with that. And people were, wondering, should we lock our accounts? Should we go back and try to delete all our Dragon Ball posts? Like, this is scary. And me think about how big Dragon Ball is and how almost guaranteed half of the people on Twitter have posted a Dragon Ball GIF or image or clip at some point in the years that app has been around. So, and I was like, you know what? I post Dragon Ball stuff, not every single day, but I post a lot of Dragon Ball stuff on Twitter. I'm not going through my account to delete it. So I was like, hey, if they want to come after me for it, then go right ahead. I mean, I would have appealed it. I mean, there's just I didn't think that any of those claims could have stuck anyway. Like a copyright violation for posting a GIF, like no, that would never have held up. It couldn't have. For fan art, and like the thing is like Shueisha probably does have, like, it's like the Nintendo thing we talked about before. They probably do have the legal right to say, like, hey, don't draw our characters. You know, they own the character likenesses, and that's, it is what it is. But it's just such a bad idea, and such a bad thing to do to your fan base, that somebody was to draw some fan art of Goku or Vegeta or whoever and post it online, like, hey, look at this, I love Dragon Ball so much, and then hey, take that down. We own those characters, not you. Like, just no. It's spitting on your fan base, and it's been dumb. But thankfully, that was fake. What wasn't fake, getting towards the Nintendo part, is Nintendo recently had 379 fan games from the site Game Jolt taken down. And that's just crazy. Now, reading this, I'm looking at this from the NintendoLife.com in this article by, it says, Ryan Craddock. I hope I pronounced that right. Reading this article, from what I understand, is there were advertisements on the site. So, a bunch of games using Nintendo stuff. There's ads on the site or on the game page, whatever. And, of course, Nintendo's certainly not going to go for that. Now, I still think that this is way too much of a, authority move of like, we have the power. Like, I think it's way too much of a flex for that. It just, like, they didn't even, like I get that they wouldn't want people making money off of stuff, but I mean, how much money could you possibly make off of a game like that? Like, I don't know. Like, one of the games, it says in this article, it's called, like, Five Nights at Yoshi's, which is obviously a parody of Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, I don't know anything about Five Nights at Yoshi's or Five Nights at Freddy's, to be quite honest. I just don't know. I feel like there's better ways to handle these things. Like, it's like with the emulation stuff. Like, if people are making money off of the ROM downloads, then yeah, like, don't do that. Like, that's something I can understand. If people want to download the ROMs from an internet source if for games that they already own physical copies of, then that's fine. But charging people for it, yeah, like, no, don't do that. But I don't know. It just seems like there could be a better way to handle fan games. I mean, I haven't really played any Nintendo fan games that I can remember. It's just like, but I know, like, there's always, like, fan Pokemon games. People have been making their own Pokemon games forever. And, like, the popularity of Mario fan games is what spawned Super Mario Maker. Like, somebody realized, hey, people like to make their own original games based off the ones we make. Let's make an entire game centered around building your own levels. I mean, and it was a huge success. So, it just seems like Nintendo could really try to figure out a way to not, step all over their fans' toes with stuff. And, like, because, like, people have pointed this out, but, like, Toby Fox, like, Earthbound, Undertale literally started out as a fan-made Earthbound game. And there's just, and it's crazy to think Toby Fox is now working with Nintendo. Like, yeah. Like, so you're going after the same type of people that became like I guess you could say that Undertale was an overnight sensation. You know, in some ways it was. Is in terms of it got popular very fast, but and then of course you've got now Sans is a me costume in Smash Bros. And the Megalomania track is in Super Smash Brothers. So I mean, there it is. But I mean, they just need to work on how they do that. I mean, stop coming at your fans like they're criminals, like they're gonna just like they're stealing ours. Like, no. Like I said, I don't condone people selling games like that where it's just like blatantly taking Nintendo assets, rearrange them, and like, hey, it's a new game. No, it's not. But I also don't agree with Nintendo's idea that these games are like taking money from them. They're just not. Like, I doubt there's anybody out there who honestly just plays Nintendo fan games because they're free or whatever, and not actually buys like Nintendo official consoles and stuff. Like, I don't believe that. If people like that exist, they're probably a super minority. It just doesn't make sense. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure to get that out. It's just so silly though. But anyway, just stick a little bit longer with Nintendo. It was recently announced that Nintendo is buying Next Level Games, which famously were the developers of Luigi's Mansion 3, a game everybody loved. And they've also worked on. They also developed the 3DS Luigi Mansion game, the rebooted Punch Out for the Wii, and even going back a little bit further, Super Mario Strikers, which was a GameCube game. That game was kind of crazy, and people love the art style of that game too for the characters. That was, I agree, that was a pretty cool decision they made. Give me a second. Where's that? Okay, I'm looking through an article. This is the article from Polygon on it, written by Owen S. Good. I'm gonna go check that out. Anyway, I don't really know what to add to this little piece other than, these are some good games, and hopefully we'll see some really good stuff come from them now that Nintendo is going to just outright own them. I don't know what, like, in terms of, could they revive Super Mario Strikers? I think people would be, on board for that. Possibly a new one, Punch Out game. I mean, just from those two games listed in this article. I mean, surely they could do more than just those and Luigi's Mansion. But maybe that means, though, that, like, those franchises are not gone. So, who knows? I know there's been recently a discussion about, like, what happened to F-Zero. Now, I don't know who dealt with F-Zero or anything like that, but just the idea that some old, series could possibly come back, ones that, kind of got left, thrown to the side like F-Zero did, and make a comeback. Because, like, Captain America, really, his only relevance anymore is Smash. That's it. I don't think there was an F-Zero game on the GameCube. There was on the 64. But I think that was the last one they did. So, yeah, I want to see what will come of this. Could be some really good stuff. But I guess that's just one of those things we're going to have to wait on. But anyway, the one more piece of information to talk about will be something that was actually just announced just this morning, as in, like, maybe an hour or two ago, and it's the main reason why I wanted to jump on here. Is Arcade 1UP announced their new line. What event was this at? This is from the GameSpot article. It's from CES 2021. This article by Matt Paget, I guess. So they announced, it says 7 cabinets here, and I'm gonna go through each one of them because I love arcade 1-ups so much. Like when I remember walking past one of these at work and I saw it. I'd never seen these before, and I didn't know they were a thing. And then suddenly I just happened upon a box for one, and I'm looking at it. And I'm like, wait a minute, you can buy your own arcade machines? Like, wow, that's awesome. And that just stuck with me when I saw that, and I was like, I need to look into this. This could be really cool. And at first I was kind of like, maybe this is just going to be one of those things that only a handful of people care about. And it'll be really niche. But I think they've blown up. I mean, they've been around for like 3 or 4 years now. I think it's 3 years. It's kind of cool to see how big they've gotten and how many games that they've gotten, you know, at this particular point from where they were, where they only originally started with just 4 cabinets. And they kind of admit they were kind of poor quality cabinets at the time for the first wave. They even went back and relaunched some of them in better quality so that they, you know, last longer. So it's cool to see their progress. And I wish I could have them all, like right now. But anyway, the first cabinet that this article here lists is a 4-player X-Men cabinet. Now, there is a 4-player There are the ones that I can remember off the top of my head. There are 2 cabinets for 4 players already out. There's the TMNT cabinet that I actually do have now. I got that for Christmas. And there's an NBA Jam cabinet, which was the first cabinet they released that has online play. So that's very, very cool. I would buy all of these games. Like I've said this before when talking about them, I want to have my own arcade, and I want to be able to go in here and into it, turn all of these cabinets on, and just listen to the games. I just want to hear the sound of all these games going at the same time. Like, that's what I want to hear. It just, I know it would be so great. I mean, I could talk about it forever. But I think this game will also be online. I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. The X-Men cabinet has the original X-Men arcade game, but it also comes with 2 other Marvel games. One being Captain America and the Avengers, and the other one is a fighting game called The Avengers in Galactic Storm. Now, I actually have played Captain America and the Avengers on my YouTube channel, here on this channel. I think, as of right now, I think only the first half of that run is up. The second half, I think, is just private. I haven't let it set to drop yet, although I may have. I can't remember. But I actually have the Super NES version of that Captain America and the Avengers game, and I've played it for years. It's kind of an annoying game. I don't think I've ever actually beaten it, but it's cool that that will be on a cabinet. Like, I actually didn't even know that until like maybe last year that was originally an arcade game. But it makes sense. Hold on, what was the next one? Oh, I lost my place. I don't need this anymore. Closing Windows out. Don't need that one anymore either. The second one, now this one I've been predicting. It was one of the ones that I said they needed to do, and I had a really good feeling they were going to do it. Killer Instinct. I just knew deep down, I'm like, they're going to do it. They're going to have to do a Killer Instinct cabinet. And looks like we're finally getting one. And also, it looks like these cabinets are also going to be shaped in their original form, too. I noticed that, like, the first few waves of these cabinets, they all retain the same shape, even though they had the cool, like, original art and all. But, like, these cabinets here look like they're going for their original actual cabinet shape. So, that's cool to see some variety there, too. The Killer Instinct cabinet will come with Killer Instinct 1 and Killer Instinct 2. I think, yes, it does have online, I believe. Battletoads, the original one, and Battletoads slash Double Dragon, which was a home console release. So that's an interesting little bonus that they've thrown in there. But, the more the merrier. That's really cool. And I can't help but wonder, I know, for those of you who like video games and Max, I kind of had this idea in my head, when Max took interest in the arcade cabinets when they first did a Marvel Superheroes cabinet, and he got to talking, and now I know he's got one. Kenny from Yo Video Games has the Mortal Kombat one. I remember Max had talked about the cabinets and what they could mean for the Marvel versus Capcom series, because he was pushing big to want a new Marvel versus Capcom game to come out. And he noted that this would be like the fact that a Marvel cabinet existed with the Marvel Superheroes fighting game on it, which Capcom made, was a sign that there could be something in the works. And then I think he said later, or maybe it was Justin Wong who said, but Justin Wong helped with the development of the Marvel Superheroes cabinet. And so knowing that those guys are kind of like friends, and Max is really, influential in the fighting game community, and with him talking about the cabinets and what they could mean and what to do, I kind of had the idea out there that Arcade 1-Up could reach out to Max and get involved, and or he could pitch to them to get a Killer Instinct cabinet made. And at this point, looking through Twitter, he has not reacted to it or said anything. So it wouldn't surprise me if he was involved in getting that cabinet to become a thing, or if he actually did help with the programming, because I think that's what Justin Wong did for the Marvel cabinet, was he helped to make sure it operated the way it should. So this wouldn't surprise me at all. But even if he's not involved with it, I'm sure he'll be super happy. But that said, I figure he already knows about this. Like, I can't imagine that he wasn't one of the first people to know that this cabinet was coming. So I hope he'll get one and review it on his channel. And hopefully I'll get to get one too, because I want these cabinets so bad. I want my own arcade so bad. The next cabinet is Dragon's Lair, and it has Dragon's Lair 1, Dragon's Lair 2, Time Warp, and Space Ace. Now, I don't have any idea what Space Ace is. I do know that Dragon's Lair, of course, features, this great animation from Don Bluth, and it's a very challenging game from what I understand. You're basically playing a cartoon, is the way it's sort of presented. I've never played Dragon's Lair. I've watched countless videos about it, and it looks like a lot of fun. So would I get this? Of course I would. And it will be presented in its original aspect ratio, as you would expect, because it's been re-released, over time. The next cabinet they've got is the Atari Legacy Edition cabinet, which is themed around, from the looks of it, what is it, Tempest? That's what it looks like it says on the thing. Although it may be sort of a collab. Anyway, this is like a big one. It looks more like the old school cabinets, the old school Tempest cabinet. And it comes with 12 games. It also has a light-up marquee, which is cool. And I think all of these new wave cabinets have a faux coin slot. So I assume it's just painted on there. I don't know if it's actually like a little piece that they put in, like on the front, or if it's just straight up painted on. But I don't think that's necessary for these, to be honest. But I mean, I guess that they want to try to make them look as close as the originals as they possibly can, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it does seem kind of silly to me in a way to put a fake coin box and coin slots on it when that's not, they don't function. It's just there to look like it. But that's a nitpicky thing. I don't really, It's cool that it's there, but it's also unnecessary. You see what I mean? So, I don't know. But anyway, this cabinet here has 12 games on it. Asteroids Deluxe, Centipede, Major Havoc, Missile Command, Akar, I guess that's how you say it. Akar, I don't know. Akar, I don't know. Crystal Castles, Tempest, Millipede, Gravitar, Liberator, and Space Duel. I don't know what most of those games are, but I know enough about Asteroids Centipede. It's a cool cabinet, even though they already have an Asteroids cabinet. So, but the next one is another Capcom cabinet. Is the Legacy Edition. Like these are the big ones. The Legacy cabinets are really interesting in my opinion, but again, this one, the fake coin slots. This is 12 games. It's themed around Street Fighter 2. This one has the games 1944, Commando, Darkstalkers, Final Fight, Ghosts and Goblins, Street Fighter 2 World Warrior, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2 The New Challengers, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and Strider. So that's a lot of Street Fighter. 6 different Street Fighter games and then 6 other games to throw in there. That's a lot of games. I like it. A whole bunch of different, like the first Street Fighter, I believe Street Fighter 2, that cabinet was part of their first wave. And I'm kind of glad I held off on that being the first one I got. The first cabinet I have was the Pac-Man one, the first Pac-Man one. But yeah, this one I like. I'm still hoping that they're still really focused on Street Fighter 2, and I get it. That's like the biggest fighting game of all time almost. I get it. Hopefully, though, we'll see a Street Fighter 3 cabinet come out. I want one of those so bad. But, and then we've got the Bandai Namco Legacy cabinet, which, again, this is a Pac-Man themed cabinet. It has Dig Dug 2, Galaga, Galaxian, Mappy, Pac and Pal, Pac-Land, Pac-Man, Pac-Man Plus, Pac-Mania, Rompers, and Super Pac-Man. So lots of Pac-Man on this one. Noticeably absent is Miss Pac-Man, because Miss Pac-Man got her own cabinet last year, so that's cool. Can't really add much more to that one, I guess. It's just Pac-Man. Legendary arcade game. So, yeah. I mean, these all look so cool, man. They all look so... The machine's just so cool. And I get it. They're novelties. They really are. But it's just... I want them all. I want all these cabinets. And then there's an extra thing that they put out that's an interesting one. This is very unique. A Pong 4-player pub table. I'm reading these off of GameSpot too, so you can go get that one. This article is from... Oh yeah, I already read that one. I thought I had missed that one. Anyway, where is it? Lost my place. This is a weird cocktail table-like cabinet where you look down on the screen. So like you're sitting at a table and you're playing it. But anyway, it's very, very unique looking. But this cabinet or table, it's actually a table, not a cabinet, has Circus Atari, Pong, Pong Doubles, Pong Sports, Quadra Pong, Warlords, Super Breakout, and Tempest. So This is a very unique looking one. They don't have anything else that looks like this. I like the colors, the black, the white, the orange, and the red, I guess it is. There's some with some yellow in there. It's a pretty cool looking one. It stands out in my opinion. The big Atari logo on the two sides there. Again, these are so cool, and I feel like I'm kind of just fanboying at this point to talk about how awesome I think they look, but it's just I love these. I think we'll probably see some more cabinets from these guys announced in the summer. Probably around the time E3 would happen. Probably not going to be an E3 this year, if I had to guess. I had to stretch. But yeah, this is a great lineup to come out of the new year swinging. Killer Instinct. Like I said, this is one of the ones I predicted would happen. I'm curious to see Max's reaction to it, and to see if he was on board with it. You know, did he know about it? Which, like I said, I would bet he does. I would bet he knew this was happening. And Dragon's Lair would be really, really, really cool. The X-Men cabinet. I wasn't expecting another Marvel cabinet, to be honest, but one that includes a game that I've been playing since I was little on the Super NES. Cool. Even better. But anyway, the Legacy ones are really cool too. I'm glad that they made the decision to try to make these look a little bit more like their original shapes and all. That was the one sort of nitpick thing that I had about these cabinets, is that they were all in the same generic cabinet shape. But that one would not have ever, like, that very, very little detail would not have deterred me from buying any of these. Like, that doesn't matter to me. That I don't need them to look exactly like they did in the arcades in the 90s or whatever. Like that, I don't need that much of a, thing. It's just cool that they've decided to do that. But anyway, that's all I got today. I hope you guys enjoyed listening. I think this is one of the shorter shows I've had in a while. But thanks for listening as always. Be sure to share with your friends. Go check out my gaming stuff. My Ko-fi page is always linked in all my videos. You can support the channel there. And that will do it for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.